Now, one of the most powerful tools I've seen so far is Wileyplus Orion. What it does is allows you to build your proficiency in math by practicing and keeping track of how proficient you are in each of the various topics that you've got in math. And by keeping track of this, it allows you to see how well you're progressing. And it seems I'm progressing fairly well here, but I seem to have some problems here. So this means this is where I'm going to have to go back and focus on before any major test or evaluation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at solving numerical operations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, reciprocals, exponents, and roots. So we're going to take a look at this. But before we do, let's take a look at some basic calculations which you may not have been aware of. So if we want to say 5 times negative 4, we can't just say 5 times and then hit minus 4 like this because the answer is not correct. So what we have to do, let's clear that. It's going to be 5 times 4, and then we have to hit the change sign key. So 5 times, now we can see here it's 5 times negative 4, and we hit equals, we get minus 20. Same thing here, 5 times 4, hit the change sign key here and say equals, and again we get minus 20. So those are some minor things we have to be aware of, but let's clear this out and let's take a look at doing a little bit of stuff in this topic here. So let's hit practice, and what it's going to do here is it's going to say multiply these numbers. So what we're going to do in this case, and it works the same on the PC and the Mac calculator, so let's just use it here. 15 times 2, hit the change sign key, equals, times 4, change sign key, equals, times 3, change sign key, equals, and our number is minus 360. So let's put in here minus 360, and before I do, I have to specify I don't know, somewhat confident, almost confident, I know it, submit, and you can see with this green box that is indeed correct. So, and we can even look for solution here, and it shows you step by step how to do this, but if you know how to do the calculations here, then you're pretty much good to go. And this time we're adding minus 9 plus minus 10. So let's do it this time on the Mac calculator. So we're going to hit 9, change sign, plus 10, change sign, and we get an answer here of minus 19. So let's put in our minus 19 and say, yes, I know it. And again, we get the green box saying this is true. Now notice what it's doing over here. It's timing each of these things that we're doing. And what that means is it allows us to show how proficient we are in doing these kinds of things. Now in this case, we have an addition. This is 190.33 plus 32.6 equals. Now, the units are minutes here, so notice one of the things you're going to find is if you're adding, the number of significant digits that you should have in your answer is going to be the one that has the least number of decimal places when you're adding or subtracting. 222.9, and we can't just leave it like that. We have to type in MIN. And again, I'm pretty confident, so I'm going to hit I know it, and I'm going to hit submit. And again, I get the green thing here, and if you didn't put in MIN, it would give you an error. So again, it's timing us up here. You can see the number. This is going to indicate what proficiency we have in this. Let's do this on the Mac calculator this time. So 655 shares of oil pipe stock are valued at this amount. What is the value of each share? Well, we're going to take this number here, which is 16787.65, and then we're going to divide that by the number of shares. So we have $25.63 a share, 25.63, and say I'm very confident in that, and hit this. And notice it's giving us an error here because again I forgot to put in, oops, the dollar. Now in this case it says divide these approximate numbers. So in this case let's do it back here with the PC calculator. So that's 165.4 divided by 3.2251. It's negative, so we have to hit the change sign and do this. Now even though we've got a number here which has a lot of decimal points, anytime we're doing a division or a multiplication, the least number of significant digits. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 significant digits here, and that's what we have to round our number to. Minus 51.285, which is 29. I feel pretty confident about that. Let's put that in there, and again, we got the right answer. Now let's take a look at this. This is going to be using square root of two numbers being multiplied together, and it says retain the appropriate number of significant digits. Now this one has 3 significant digits, this one has 3, so our answer is going to be in 3, whatever the minimum number of significant digits is. Let's see how we go about doing this. Now it's a little different between these two, so let's start with the basic calculations here. Let's do it first on the Mac calculator. 3.24 times 1.07 equals, then we want to do the square root, which is this guy here, and our answer is this, and we're going to put it in as 1.86. 1.86, say that I'm very confident, and hit submit. Let's go through this again. Let's clear our display and say 3.24 times 1.07. That's the same as before, but when we say equals, you can see here there's no square root showing up unless we hit the second button here. When we hit the second button, then we can do the square root of that, and again we get 1.86 rounded to 3 significant digits. Now notice what we have here. This is a number to the minus 1/3. 88.6, change sign. In this case, we either use second, or we can actually say x to the y. And x to the y is probably the better one. And so what we're going to do is say bracket 1 divided by 3, bracket, change sign, equals. And what we're going to see is this number here. So let's try putting that number into the correct number of significant digits, which should be 3 minus 0.224. And I feel confident, and I'm going to hit submit. And indeed it is correct, and we can see that from our solution here.